just as easy to ride as my 1300. Not very good. That is the one feature that my bike is missing. Really nice bike. Starbucks holders for your coffee. Really ugly. There's a little design flaw. So first impressions, it's definitely higher than my one, than my GS. It's definitely wider, so it really forces your legs into an interesting position. Also, it feels, just as easy to ride as my 1300. It does feel absolutely massive, and it's nice that you have Starbucks holders for your coffee. They should make cup holders out of that. There's a little design flaw, which I'm going to tell you later about. But yeah, of course, I think the wind protection is much better, and that's not a surprise, because you have that fuel tank that is protecting you. Nice to have sort of hung-away packs. It feels almost exactly the same as the 1300 GS, which is not a surprise, but yeah, maybe it is a surprise, because this is much heavier, and it's also much wider, higher, so you should think that it should feel really different, but it isn't. So maybe that is the surprise, that it's really well balanced. Question is, would I replace my 1300 GS for this adventure version? I think that is the big question. Okay, so the power is exactly the same. This is not the version with the automatic clutch, which is a shame, because I would really want to try that, and maybe that could be a reason to switch. But yeah, the power is the same, handling also the same, which again is a surprise. Wind protection really good. Suspension, yeah, the same as the 1300 GS. It's also really good. This one does have the adaptive ride height, so it does lower and rise the bike, which is nice. That is the one feature that my bike is missing. It has the quick shifter, of course. It's an option 719 version, the Tramontana, or maybe this one has another color. I really like the gold color on this bike. I think this gold is better than the gold on the 1300. You feel like you're on a bike, you know, and that's maybe the problem with the 1300 GS. It's also a big bike, but it doesn't feel as massive and beastly as this bike. It's really wide and awesome. Yeah, handling is absolutely perfect. I think comfort-wise, this seat is a little bit more plush than my seat. I have the high comfort seat on my 1300GS. This one is a little bit less hard, so it could be a good thing, but that could also be a bad thing. It really depends on what you prefer, but sometimes hard seats are better than more squishy seats, because that will feel better at first, but after a while, after a couple of hours, squishy seats most of the times will hurt you more. So, but comfort wise, yeah, it's on par with the normal 1300. But people that say that this one is not as flickable as the 1300, the normal GS, they're wrong. This is exactly the same. Maybe in slow speeds it's a little bit different, but now, yeah, it's fine. I see no issues. Okay, let's do a little walk around the bike. Because there's something to say about the looks of this bike. I do think that this bike looks better in person than on the pictures. It's really hard to take this bike on a picture. Okay, maybe I need to change my mind about that, because now I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's a little bit ugly. Sorry guys, I think it's not as good looking as the 1300GS. Absolutely not. It's not okay. It's pretty ugly. It looks really utilitarian, which is of course the point of a GS. But that's the thing that I like about the normal GS, the 1300, that it has lines, you know. This one is just boxy. And the rack, oh my god. This rack, it's really cool because you can put your cases on it, and they're like you have power on the cases, and they are central lockable and that kind of stuff, but it's really ugly. There's a little design flaw. It has the radar, the same as on my GS, and that's really good. It's a really nice addition. Of course, the shaft drive, option 719 stuff. Really like this lip. They should add that on the normal one. Of course, integrated fog lights, which is nice. Yeah, not sure about the looks. What do you think? Do you like the bike? Do you like the looks? So let's do a little drive and make up my mind about this bike. Oh yeah, the design flaw. This, you can open this, you have a really pretty big box, but it hits the steering, so you damage it every other time. So yeah, it's not very good. It is really flickable. It is absolutely amazing how flickable this bike is for how big it is. Let's do a little highway part. Let's see if it's good on the highway. Never mind. Okay, positive things about this bike. It rides really good. It is really flickable. It gives you good wind protection. It has a lot of road presence. And of course all the features that you want. And that's it. compared to the GS, the 1300GS, that one has a little bit less road presence. It looks much better. It is as flickable. It is as comfortable for me personally. Yeah, maybe this bike needs to grow on me, but for now I would prefer the normal 1300. And you also need to remember this bike is really expensive. Here in the Netherlands, full option around 37,000 euros, maybe 35, but it is damn expensive. So you need to bear that in mind. I think it's nice. I like it, but I don't love it. I don't love it. A little off-road section. Let's see how it handles those bumps. Oh, pretty good. Of course, this is an heavy bike, and it's now in dynamic mode, so it has a little bit stiffer suspension, but yeah, it feels great. I think you can really travel the world with this bike. Of course, it's big, it's heavy, especially when you're stuck somewhere. And maybe, I'm not sure how reliable it is. In my experience, these GS's are really reliable. So let's say this bike is reliable. I think it will be a good around the world touring bike. But don't expect miracles off-road. It's always possible, of course, but it really depends on the skills of the driver. It's nice, it's fine, really nice bike. If you want a bigger bike, if you want something that is a little bit more comfortable and has a little bit more road presence than the 1300 normal GS, then I would definitely consider this. But otherwise I would also consider the normal 1300. Yeah, okay, conclusion, like it. I would definitely recommend to try it, but I'm not super impressed or something. So yeah, if you like this video and if you want me to do a full review for a day or something like that, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to see some features about the GS and that kind of stuff, please, I would love to refer you to my own GS videos. I tell a lot about that bike, and I will tell a lot more about that bike. But yeah, I think that is it for now. So consider to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. If you want to see my newest video, tap here. If you want to see my recommended video for you, tap here. And if you want to subscribe, tap here. Thanks for watching. Tap here, or tap here.